Hi, and welcome to Sandy's Numerology. So, been a bit quiet after my last IEC post, but if you go and watch that, you can see that there's internal trouble. So, there was definitely management changes that kind of quietly happened, and then we've had this Action SA who there's a discrepancy about having just their name next to their logo, and I hope that they'll be taken to task. And unfortunately, my feeling about the IEC board on the 17th of October 1996 on internal 5-year, which lines with Cyril, which lines with the ANC, and a little bit concerning that there might be some interference regarding the inside management of the IEC regarding our municipal votes. Now, the IEC, I've Googled and I've looked this up, have got 7 days after we vote to announce the outcome. So 7 days from the 1st makes it the 8th of November, which, by the way, is the birth date of the stock market. And we'll have to see what happens there in the stock market price, which will be very interesting. So doing the municipal elections is really far bigger than doing the national general elections, which will be held in 2024. And the reason being is that, number one, there's 4,392 wards, 8 metropolitan municipalities, 44 districts, 278 physical municipalities, 226 local municipalities, and there are 504 registered parties. I haven't added that they opened up for the ANC to fix their complete internal mismanagement of not registering for 94 of the municipalities, or 93 municipalities that they failed to register, which just gives proof of one thing. All the astrologers say you've got to look at when we voted in 1994 as the birth date of South Africa. Well, if that was the date, then South Africa would be in such a fabulous time, coasting along, no corruption, nothing. And that is wrong. So we have to look at South Africa's birth date, which is the 31st of May 1961. And to kind of just reiterate why is because South Africa is born in May. There's a 5, got a hidden 5. And we're currently 60 years of age, but we're in a 5 personal year. And this is where the discovery, the disclosure, the corruption, the mismanagement, the politicking, the power games, the fraud, the corruption, and we haven't even got there. There's still more exposés to come between now and May, June, July of next year. So now South Africa's in a 5 internal, IEC is in a 5 internal, Cyril is in a 5 internal and a 5 external, ANC is in a 5 internal. Phew, I mean, this is corruption spelt in monstrous capital letters with bold, italic, and underlined and exclamation mark. So to do all these parties and wards and independents. I mean, we could be here for a month of Sundays. So I'm going to kind of run through the main kind of top parties and bring in two other parties that one is the Musimaimanis, one South African non-profit organized, it's a non-profit organization, and Action SA. I think their Action SA is the loudest new party. I think Musi Maimani's One South African movement is not creating too much of a loud storm. So let's go through. African Christian Democratic Party, it's in their life path year until December. They're born on the 9th of December, 1993. Their age is a 9. They're kind of just coasting along. It's not their best year at all. So I don't see much gains for them. And, you know, they've got 4 seats in Parliament, but I don't see much more gains. The African Independent Congress, born on the 12th of December, 2005, is not in a favorable year. They've got 2 seats in Parliament, but their age adds to a 3. So they are not in a favorable year to collect votes. Now, Al Jamar, born on the 23rd of April 2007, are in a double 5 year, 5 internal, 5 age. So there's some difficulties and there's problems. And it's quite interesting that in the Cape Town area, they've got all races, religions to do with their members. But they're not in a favorable year. It's a very, very difficult year for them. And I think they are lacking finances and there's some monetary matters there. So let's get to the first important one. And as you can see, I'm doing it alphabetically, so I'm not picking any one above anybody else. Now, the ANC was founded in a church on the 1st of the 8th of January, 1912. And what is matching is that 5 internal, which is politicking, power games, mismanagement, exposure, corruption, and the financial mismanagement, which we've all heard about, is just huge, and I still think there's more to come. If you really think of it, that the ANC's complete mismanagement, they're 230 million in debt. Since they've only kind of in 2019 had 600,000 in the bank, and you know they got 17 million from the IEC, paid to SARS. Oh gosh, I mean the ANC is a mess. But we have to look that the ANC was officially registered on the 3rd of the 2nd, 1990. So we look at the 2, let's look at the 2, because everybody's going to be stalwarty about the 8th of January. They're in a 5 personal, great difficulties. The age currently adds to a 1. So I'm going to say that with this 1 in age, means that they are going to gain some kind of ground or maintain some kind of individuality. However, because we're sitting in November and their birthdays in January, the age is going to be in 11. So pull back 2.5 months before the turn of their birthday in January, this age 11 is starting to gain traction, which means coalition. So that's definitely going to have to come into play. But let's go to the official registered, which is the 3rd of the 2nd, 1990, currently in a 1 personal, which is showing money. but they don't have. Their age adds to a 4, which is to lose position and title. So to lose, this is as if the ANC was applying for job, and this is what they're doing with the municipal elections, is that there's going to be the loss of position and title. But let's see how the 1st of November plays out on our day of voting, which I need to look at, because the 1st of November adds to a 12, adds to 3, which is all of the collective. I think it's going to be a great day. There's quite a bit of social interaction and engaging, but it's an 8 outcome the day, because the 3 plus 2021. So that is an all or nothing day. South Africa is an 8 life path. This is about communication, organization, coordination, motivation, challenge. There is also that 8 can be very aggressive, and hopefully it's more about the motivating and challenging the voters versus any form of aggression. But I still think it's a really, really good day. And people, you've got to go out and vote. This is so important. So let's move on to the African Transformation Movement. Unfortunately, I've only got the year. I don't have a day and month. And even the IEC can't give it to me. So I don't know what's happening with them. But their age is currently 3 years. So I can't give too much on that. The Congress of the People, which is COPE, born on the 16th of December 2008, unfortunately is in a 5 internal, which is telling me there's politicking, power games going on within COPE. Their age adds to a 3, which is to be out in the collective, and it wouldn't surprise me if they gain some votes. But I'm not hearing COPE out there and, making a noise. Right, the Democratic Alliance, oh lordy. Born on the 24th of June 2000, with double hidden 3s and a 5 life path. Helen Ziller, you just have to go. You're just really a problem here. But their age adds to a 3. They've got double hidden 3s. Sorry, DA, this is not a good year for you at all. This is losing ground in the collective. Now, they are in an 8-3. The day of voting is a double 3-8, which bounces on their numbers, which is showing me that the DA is not going to gain ground. Economic freedom fighters. Right. Born on the 26th of July, 2013. They are currently in an 11-8 year, and that 11 is internal. So there is legal matters, and I know Floyd's born on the 1st of January. There's a wobble with partnerships and investors and shares, but the legalities that's happening inside that party is not very kosher. But their age adds to an 8. They've got 44 seats in Parliament. But the interesting thing is that 11 could also bring coalition. This could also be resignations, and I know they've also eliminated some members internally. But that 8 is not bad for the EFF. So their message out there has been heard, and I think that they could gain some ground. Right, Freedom Front Plus, born on the 1st of March 1994. Now they are a 9 life path. They're in their 9 life path, which is kind of just coasting along, and it's not a bad year, even if you are in your life path. It's more about observing, starting to let people know who they are, who I am. And, 2 to 3 months before their birthday, that starts January, there's still an independent individuality thing that's going to start waking up with the Freedom Front Plus. So they're just coasting along, but they've got 10 seats in Parliament, which is quite strong. Now, the Good Party is born on the 2nd of December 2018, and they are currently 11, and only in December do they turn 12. And because their age adds to an 11, that is coalition. So that is definitely going to happen. Inkatha Freedom Party, born on the 21st of March 1975, is in an 11 personal. So I really am fearing for the loss and separation and some legalese inside there. But that loss and separation could be also Mangosuthu Buthelezi. I doubt he's going to step down at this point. He's going like a Boeing. But there is a handover. There's some balance that needs to be restored in the party. But their age adds to a 1. They're a 1 life path. They've got a 1 in their day. And it's not a fabulous year. Their identity, I think, are being presumed. But not a bad year. But this 11 internet, they could still land up being some kind of coalition that they get involved in going forward. National Freedom Party, born the 25th of January 2011. Now, they are in a 4-1 year, I'm needing a pen here, and their birthdays in January bring back 2 months before. So it's almost like their identity is not 100% out there in the marketplace. And because their age is going to add to an 11, starting 2 months, 12 in November, there's the word coalition. So the National Freedom Party is definitely going to have to go into coalition. PAC, the Pan-African Congress, born on the 6th of April 1959, are in a 6-8 year. Not a bad year, but I don't hear the PAC out there. Where is their territory? Where is their voice? We're not hearing them speak. So I believe that this is not really good for the PAC. United Democratic Movement, born on the 27th of September 1997, is in a 5 internal. The age adds to a 6. So the UDM is in a time to actually kind of gain. This is going to be about friends and connections, but there's internal financial issues going on inside, mismanagement, lots of problems, politicking inside of the UDM. So there's difficulties there, but their age adds to a 6. Not bad. Now, right, the big one. Let me first do one South Africa, Mmusi Maimani's party, born on the 18th of February 2020. Now, very interesting, they are in a 7-1 year. And it's good. It's really good. However, their birthdays in February bring it back 2 months to December, And if we've got any delays, whatever, to make it 2.5 months, there's coalition here. So Musi Maimani's One South Africa movement could definitely go into coalition. But they're going to they've got some gains here. The important, really active party that has been so busy on Facebook and Instagram and all of the platforms and YouTube and is Herman Mashaba. Action SA took a while to get this, and this is one of the reasons why I've been so delayed. Born on the 29th of August 2020. Now they are in a personal 6 year. So this is, friends, family, connections, referrals, but with 6's voice, and they have been voicing. The age adds to one, they've got double ones. And I believe that their identity is out there. I know Herman Mashaba is really peeved about them and the contractual definition of acronym that they left Action SA off next to their logo on the election sheets. But I do believe that the color that is so distinctive, which kind of makes me think that when they were refused because their flag was too like, or their logo was too like many others, in changing it to all green, their identity is louder. The color is so incredibly positive because green is fertile, it engages, it's neither masculine or feminine, so it really is engaging. I believe the Action SA is going to be interesting because they're in line with One South Africa. So could they kind of start working together? Who would Action SA land up being in line with? The African National Congress will be interesting. There'll be a game that gets played there, but I feel that Action SA is really going to stand out there. Interesting enough, the Democratic Alliance age, there's no match there. There's no match even with Maimane. I think they don't want anything to do with the DA, as there are many, many people, because John Steenhuisen is really messing up. Helen, God, she really needs to be put out to pasture. Who else could they be getting? They could work with Inkatha Freedom Party, the National Freedom Front, the Freedom Front Plus. So there's a lot of opportunity of how other parties could work together. Now, people out there have got to understand that if you've got a ward councillor, there is a thing that you need to understand, that your ward councillor's got to have certain amount of votes to be able to be in the PR of the municipalities, etc. So if your ward councillor doesn't get enough votes, those votes go out to sea and get lost in the middle of nowhere and are not going to be counted, in the sense that they haven't got enough votes. So it's going to be interesting how many ward councillors who are presuming that because they're in a particular suburb that they've got the votes, they've got to get over 50 votes, etc. It's quite a technical understanding of how municipal elections votes. And I think that if you go on to 702 and look at Azania Masaka has got a few podcasts of interviewing a very, very interesting gentleman, And if I can just pull out the names, because I recorded them. Africa Milani interviewed a chap by the name of Ibrahim. And then Azania Masaka interviewed Paul Berkowitz. So look for those podcasts on the 702 website. Just type in Africa Milani and Ibrahim and Azania Masaka and Paul Berkowitz, because you could seriously get to understand the intricacies of the wards and the municipalities and the metropoles, and how the chain actually works to get to who actually wins. But what concerns me the most is the internal mismanagement, politic and power games that's going on in the IEC. And I'm hoping that they have not been captured by the ANC. But I'll tell you something for nothing, that will come out. It will be exposed. There will be a whistleblower, which is actually going to make things even worse for the ANC. Now, this has been fairly rushed. There's a lot there. And I hope that you take the time to listen to the whole recording. And the most important thing is we've been behind closed doors with restrictions. Yes, Cyril has opened things up for the right reason. Our numbers are down, and they need votes and they need to get the people out. But our voting day is a good day to get out and to re-engage. But remember your protocols. Thank you for watching Sandy's Numerology, and we will watch this space.